Do friendships ever shape a person's destiny more than their own ambitions? Can one artist's quiet guidance carry another through decades of triumphs and struggles without ever demanding the spotlight? Those questions sit at the heart of one of country music's most touching and enduring bonds, the connection between John Conlee and Bill Anderson. At 79, Conlee has begun speaking openly about the depth of this friendship, reflecting on the mentorship that Anderson offered him and how it changed the very course of his life. Their story is not just about two men who worked in the same industry but about two souls whose paths crossed at just the right time, proving that sometimes the most powerful partnerships aren't forged in boardrooms or contracts but in late-night conversations, shared respect, and a belief that music should always speak the truth. When Conlee was a young man chasing a dream in the late 70s, the road ahead was anything but certain. He had worked a string of jobs, mortician, radio announcer, anything that kept him going, before finally landing a record deal with ABC Records. That moment changed everything, and soon his debut single Rose-Colored Glasses was climbing the charts, giving him the kind of breakthrough every aspiring country singer hopes for. But behind the excitement was a man still figuring out where he fit in the sprawling world of Nashville, unsure how to navigate the powerful personalities and traditions that defined the scene. That is when Bill Anderson entered his orbit, and everything began to shift. Anderson, already a Nashville icon by that time, was no stranger to mentoring young talent. He had been inducted into the Grand Ole Opry back in 1961 after his first #1 hit, City Lights, had catapulted him to fame. Known as Whisperin' Bill for his soft vocal style and poetic approach to lyrics, Anderson carried himself with a calm confidence that instantly put others at ease. For Conlee, meeting him was like being welcomed into a family he had admired from afar. The Grand Ole Opry became the stage where their relationship began to take shape, not just in front of the audience but in quiet moments behind the curtain. Conlee has described how intimidating it was at first to be in the same room as so many legends, yet Anderson's warmth and humor made the space feel less daunting. Instead of keeping a young up-and-comer at arm's length, Anderson treated him like a peer in the making, showing him that respect in Nashville wasn't just earned through record sales but through character and humility. Their conversations were rarely formal, but they carried a weight that stayed with Conlee long after. Anderson talked about the value of writing songs that would still matter decades later, not just chasing what was popular that year. Conlee took this lesson to heart and began measuring every song he recorded by its emotional truth. He would later admit that he sometimes turned down potential hits if they didn't meet the standard Anderson had shown him. This dedication helped shape Conlee's distinct reputation as an artist who cared about authenticity over fleeting trends. Over time, Conlee even reached out to Anderson personally to express how deeply certain songs had moved him, something that reportedly surprised Anderson but also sparked a mutual admiration that went beyond professional courtesy. These exchanges became the foundation of a friendship built on music, honesty, and a shared belief in the power of storytelling. Their bond also became visible to fans through tribute events and televised specials where Conlee often performed Anderson's songs. When Conlee sang pieces like A Lot of Things Different, his deep baritone seemed to breathe new life into Anderson's words, turning them into something personal and immediate. Watching them share a stage was like watching two different sides of the same artistic coin. Anderson's understated lyricism paired with Conlee's emotive delivery created performances that felt both intimate and grand. Audiences noticed the chemistry, and it became clear that theirs was not just a professional pairing but something much deeper. Anderson's mentorship extended far beyond music. He offered practical advice about navigating contracts, protecting creative rights, and staying true to one's own artistic compass. Conlee has credited these lessons with helping him maintain ownership of his work and safeguard his career during moments when compromise might have seemed easier. Perhaps what makes their story so compelling is how ordinary their interactions often were. There were no dramatic speeches or staged lessons. Just two artists sharing coffee backstage, trading thoughts about music, and speaking honestly about the highs and lows of a career in country music. Conlee has said that Anderson's realism was what he valued most. Instead of painting a glamorous picture of success, Anderson shared the truth about burnout, rejection, and the importance of resilience. That honesty became a lifeline for Conlee during periods of doubt, reminding him that even legends faced moments of uncertainty. Their friendship became a private support system, one that helped Conlee remain grounded even as his fame grew. When they performed together at the Opry or on television, that sense of trust was palpable. Conlee's reserved stage presence and powerful vocal style paired beautifully with Anderson's seasoned charm as a host, creating a balance that audiences could feel. Their duets, though often spontaneous, carried an unspoken dialogue. Two men communicating not just through lyrics but through mutual respect and shared experience. Viewers watching those moments weren't just seeing a performance. They were witnessing a friendship in motion, one that represented the very best of Nashville's traditions. Over the years, Conley has become more open about just how much those early years of guidance meant to him. He admitted feeling insecure about belonging among Nashville's elite until Anderson reassured him that authenticity would always win out. He even shared that Anderson's words, "Every crowd forgives a missed note, but they never forget honesty," became a guiding principle for him. That idea shaped not only his music but also how he viewed success. For Conley, chart positions and awards mattered far less than the emotional truth his songs carried, a perspective directly influenced by Anderson's example. Their relationship was not just professional. It was deeply personal. Conley revealed that during difficult stretches of life, including lonely stretches on the road, Anderson's songs provided comfort and reminded him of the bigger picture. He leaned on those lyrics as if they were letters from a trusted friend, using them as a compass to keep moving forward. And when Conley faced moments of pressure from the industry to change his sound or chase pop trends, Anderson's mentorship gave him the courage to stand firm. This choice, though risky at times, ultimately preserved the integrity of Conley's catalog and solidified his reputation as one of country music's most honest voices. As Conley aged, the lessons only grew more significant. He has spoken candidly about the challenges of staying relevant in a business that often prioritizes youth and novelty. Watching Anderson remain an influential songwriter well into the 2000s, even penning massive hits like Whiskey Lullaby for Brad Paisley and Alison Krauss, showed Conley that artistry could evolve without losing its soul. Rather than seeing Anderson's success as competition, Conley turned his feelings of envy into admiration, using them as motivation to keep honing his own craft. That honesty about his emotions, about the mix of pride and envy, makes Conley's reflections even more powerful. It shows a level of maturity and vulnerability rarely voiced by public figures, reminding fans that even seasoned artists are still learning. Together, Conley and Anderson represent two pillars of country music who managed to honor tradition while still speaking to new generations. Conley's string of hits from the late 70s through the 80s gave a voice to working-class listeners navigating hardship and change. Songs like Rose-Colored Glasses and Backside of 30 captured the struggles and hopes of everyday people, and his induction into the Grand Ole Opry placed him firmly among the genre's most respected figures. Anderson's legacy, meanwhile, is defined by his unmatched songwriting career, his decades as a television host, and his ability to serve as a cultural bridge connecting country's golden era to its modern form. Their combined influence stretches far beyond charts and awards. It lives on in every artist they inspired and every fan who still finds comfort in their music. Conley often highlights Anderson's humility as the quality he admires most. Despite decades of accolades, Anderson never lost touch with his roots, always taking time to greet staff members by name and encourage younger performers. These small gestures made a big impression on Conley, teaching him that being a great artist also meant being a good person. That kind of quiet mentorship is perhaps the most lasting gift Anderson gave him, and it's one Conley has tried to pass along to others coming up in the industry. Today, when Conley reflects on their bond, his words carry the weight of time and the bittersweet awareness that nothing lasts forever. He speaks about the enduring power of songs as gifts that outlive the people who wrote or sang them, framing music as a kind of legacy that keeps friendship alive even after the spotlight fades. He has said that he hopes Anderson is remembered for the honesty he brought to every lyric, handshake, and conversation. That statement serves as both a tribute and a challenge, inviting fans to think about how authenticity can shape not just a career but an entire life. The friendship of John Conley and Bill Anderson reminds us that the real heart of country music lies not in fame or fortune but in the connections forged along the way. Their story is proof that mentorship and respect can transform careers, that honesty can outshine trends, and that true friendship can be as enduring as the songs we never stop singing. If you've enjoyed diving into this remarkable story of two country legends and the bond that shaped their lives, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss more inspiring stories from the world of music.